The Attorney General decides to hold off the appeal of the decision by the Civil Court annulling the article on forming Addu city in the President's Declaration 2010/15. The Attorney General decided to do so as President Mohammad Nasheed has now redeclared Addu as a city, following publication in the Government Gazette the criteria determining cities. The criteria were established by the local government authority. A city council was formed for Addu in accordance with Decree number 2010/15 and Annex 2 of Act number 7/2010, the Decentralization Act. The Elections Commission earlier said they would continue with the work on the elections on Addu City Council as the AG office was appealing the case. The Commission later said they will have to re-announce for candidates to run for the newly formed Addu City. With this new development, the Commission said they will decide on how to proceed following a meeting tomorrow morning. MNDF begins search and rescue operations to find the man who disappeared from the supply boat headed from Male to Shavieni Atoll, Wangaru. MNDF revealed that the person that they went missing from the supply boat named Hamdu is of Bangladeshi nationality. The Northern Area Command of MNDF informed that according to the captain of the boat, the person who went missing around the seas of known Atoll Kurumadu at approximately 1 this afternoon, and that the person was last seen wearing a pair of yellow shorts. The Coast Guard requests all the vessels that are traveling around the area to keep a keen eye out for the person and to provide any information regarding the whereabouts of the missing person as soon as possible by calling 191. Various shortcomings in the application forms of the Veshifa Himale program are being noted by the public. Some of these shortcomings include the lack of a form number, an official stamp, and no way to distinguish what ward the form originated from. Alongside this, various media sources are reporting that as land plots from Hulumale can only be leased via the Housing Development Corporation, the land plots that are planned to be leased under the Veshifa Himale program cannot be leased to the public as they have no affiliation to the corporation. Channel 1 questioned the steering committee for the solutions to these shortcomings.
Many shortcomings in the application forms of the Veshifa Himale program are being noted by the public. The issues highlighted by some members of the public include the lack of a form number, an official stamp, and no way to distinguish what ward the form originated from. When questioned about these shortcomings in the application form, an official in charge of the distribution of the forms from Male Municipality said that the Veshifa Himale program is not a program conducted by Male Municipality or any other government office. The program is one undertaken by a special committee that was convened by the President Mohammad Nasheed. The official also stated that the forms are being distributed to collect information on the people who require shelter and that the forms will not be valid if there is information missing. He also said that the most important piece of documentation is the receipt that will be given once the forms are validated. The official also advised the public to keep the receipt, which contains the government seal, safe. The official who spoke to Channel 1 went on to say that he does not believe there is any legal concern regarding the application forms. Under this project, shelter will be provided from the housing units that are to be constructed in Male and Hulmale. Various media sources are reporting that as land plots from Hulmale can only be leased via the Housing Development Corporation, the land plots that are planned to be leased under the Veshifa Himale program cannot be leased to the public as they have no affiliation to the corporation. In response to a question posed by Channel 1 via phone, the Managing Director of HDC, Mahjoub Shujal, said that the corporation is a 100% state-owned public company. He also said although the corporation has not officially been informed of any details of how the land plots and apartments are to be leased from Hulmale, he is sure that the government will soon inform the corporation on what procedure to take on the matter. And once the procedure is revealed, the corporation will do what is necessary for the program to proceed. A booklet outlining the details of the progression of the program will be distributed alongside every application form distributed.
President Mohammad Nasheed returns to Male after concluding his trip to Bai Atoll. During his tour to Bai Atoll, the President today visited Kendo Island and met with the people of the island. He discussed the achievements in providing social security services to the people and noted that 157 people of the island have been registered in the Madana Health Insurance Scheme, while 42 people over 65 years of age are enlisted for old age pension valued at 2,000 rupiah. The President also noted that the development of a waste management system in Kendu was included in the 2011 budget. In Dharawandhu, the president's remarks to the people were mainly on the government's commitment to decentralization and delegating more powers to the people. He also discussed the achievements in providing social security services to the people and provided an update of the developmental projects and briefed on planned projects for the islands. His last stop on the tour was to Hitherdu. Addressing the people of the island, President Nasheed detailed the achievements of the government in delivering the government's pledges, as well as specific benefits of these achievements for the people of Hitherdu. Hitadu. He also outlined the government's development plans for the island. Stressing the importance of employment opportunities in the islands for island development, President Nasheed said a major objective of this year's budget was to create more jobs. President Nasheed returned to Male this afternoon. The President's member to the Judicial Services Commission, CH-3, has submitted the issue of the self-imposed allowances by the members of the Judicial Services Commission to the Anti-Corruption Commission. In the issue submitted to the Anti-Corruption Commission, she stated that under the 164th clause of the Constitution, it is stated that the allowances should be provided to the members of the Commission that are not members of the ruling party, the justice system, the Parliament or any independent commission. It is also stated in the clause that an allowance that is determined by Parliament can be provided for any member that doesn't fall under any of the above mentioned institutions. President's member Aishat Velazini said these allowances were self-imposed allowances by the Commission members and were against the Article 164 of the Constitution. She said the fee of 500 rupiah per meeting and 300 rupiah per committee meeting was an illegal fee, sending copies of the letter to the Auditor General's office. The Anti-Corruption Commission said last night that the Commission will take this as a very serious account and investigate it thoroughly. In the letter, Velazini also asked the Anti-Corruption Commission to investigate any involvement by the Parliament in this matter. In response to the accusations set forth by Aishat Velazini, Adam Mohammed, President of the Judicial Services Commission, yesterday said that the allowances given to the members of the Commission have been given since 2009. He also said that these allowances are in line with the decisions of the Parliament. Some media reports suggest over 500,000 rupiah in allowances for the Judicial Services Commission in 2010. Australian officials revised the death toll from devastating floods in Queensland to 22 on Wednesday after search and rescue teams discovered the bodies of 2 men in the Lockyer Valley. Deadly floodwaters that cut a swath across northeastern Australia flowed into the streets of the nation's 3rd largest city on Wednesday and forced people to flee suburbs and skyscrapers. Search and rescue teams elsewhere searched for 67 people still missing. Bligh warned that the death toll would likely rise as rescue officials gain access to the devastated areas. Almost 20,000 homes in Brisbane were expected to be swamped in the city of about 2 million by the time the Brisbane River reaches its expected peak on Thursday. The figures were constantly being revised as the threat became clearer and it was getting consistently worse. At least 22 people have died in Australia's northeastern state of Queensland since drenching rains that began in November sent swollen rivers spilling over their banks, inundating an area larger than France and Germany combined. Anna Bligh, Queensland Premier, said during a news conference on Wednesday that as of Wednesday afternoon, there were 3,585 people located in 57 evacuation centres. Officials have urged anyone in a growing list of low-lying suburbs to prepare their homes, then get out to stay with friends and family and keep off the streets. Australian Prime Minister Julia Gillard visited an evacuation centre and said it was very Australian and heartwarming to see people pulling together under difficult circumstances. But Gillard warned Australian citizens of dark days still ahead. A judge on Tuesday ordered the personal physician of the late singer Michael Jackson to stand trial for involuntary manslaughter after hearing testimony that he administered a dose of a powerful anesthetic and other sedatives, then left the pop star alone. The ruling in the case against Houston cardiologist Dr. Conrad Murray came after a 6-day preliminary hearing before Superior Court Judge Michael Pastor. Prosecutors concluded their case with testimony from 2 doctors who said Murray acted outside the standard of medical care when he administered the anesthetic propofol and failed to provide proper care. Both witnesses said that even if Jackson had self-administered the final dose of the drug, his death would be a homicide because of Murray's actions. Murray, 57, has pleaded not guilty. His attorneys have said he did not give Jackson anything that should have killed him. Superior Court Judge Michael Pastor also granted a request by the California Medical Board to suspend Murray's license to practice medicine in the state. Leaving court, Jackson family members said they welcomed the decision. Fans of the late singer who had gathered to hear the ruling also said they were happy following the ruling. Murray could face up to 4 years in prison if convicted.